It's round 12 of the 2016 MotoGP World Championship, and we're at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. Fans from the UK are flocking in today at a time when British racing is at its best. We're at a circuit steeped in history, and they are all hoping to see some new memories, these fans, hopefully created today. Three huge races coming up, and the first on track, it's Moto 3. Coming up today in MotoGP, after his first Grand Prix victory in the Czech Republic, Cal Crutchlow returns home to a hero's welcome and sits on pole. Valentino Rossi needs to get his championship back on track. The Italian starts from second. Maverick Viñales and his Suzuki look a real threat. Today, they will head off from third. And Dani Pedrosa may have found some form. He leads the rest of the field in fourth. Good afternoon and welcome to the United Kingdom and Silverstone for round 12 of the MotoGP World Championship. The British fans are so excited with Cal Crutchlow back from his win on pole position here. History has already been made. Could we see some more later? Sam Lowe's on pole in Moto 2 as well. What more can they ask for? Well, we have a Moto 3 race coming up first. It was supposed to be a fully dry day, but it's quite breezy and there are some threatening clouds overhead at the moment, so you just never know what might come along. It seems like an age since warm-up. For a minute there, I was wondering whether it was actually yesterday, but we're here and we're ready to go. 35 riders will line up on the grid for this Moto 3 race at a time when Brad Binder leads the World Championship by 61 points. The British flag flying here for the British Grand Prix. Steve Day with Matt Burt alongside me here in the commentary box. Dylan Gray will be down on the grid and in pit lane during the race as well, with Pecco Bagnaia claiming his first ever pole position here yesterday. Not the first for Mahindra, but what a year it has been for them. And it's an Italian lockout on the front row with Enea Bastianini second and third for Nico Antonelli. Matt, it's just got one of those feels to it today. There's been a bit of a break since warm-up and there's a buzz in the air. Which do you get to get going now?
Yeah, it's very unusual, isn't it, this race set up here at Silverstone, where we get such a lengthy break in between the warm-ups and the races, just adding to the tension and the atmosphere here at the British Grand Prix. There is Jorge Martin, teammates to the poleman Pecco Bagnaia, coming to his place in 7th place on this grid. What a year it's been for Mahindra, though. Pecco Bagnaia taking that historic first win for the Indian manufacturer at the Dutch TT in Assen in late June. A first ever 1-2, of course, last time out for Mahindra, courtesy of John McPhee. Stunning victory in the rain in the Czech Republic a couple of weeks ago, of course, on that Peugeot branded Mahindra, and with Jorge Martin in 2nd place. Heady times for fans of Mahindra, and a good day for Pecco Bagnaia, who was quickest actually as well in a wet warm-up session this morning. So rain or dry, he was third in the warm-up this morning, Pecco Bagnaia. His first ever pole position in his 63rd Grand Prix start. But rain or shine, Steve, he's brought his A game to Britain.
Yeah, he could be well within the shout of a podium here, and expect to see some decent slipstream battles down the long straights here at Silverstone. 5.9 kilometre technical circuit with 18 corners. Brad Binder, the championship leader, will start from 4th on the grid, but the big news, I suppose, in terms of the championship is Jorge Navarro, Matt. He's going to have to start all the way back in 18th after a costly fall yesterday in qualifying.
Yeah, wet qualifying yesterday, and Jorge Navarro went down the road at Club Corner, dropped himself out of contention to 18th. Here's Enea Bastianini. Well, qualifying form, not a problem at all for the Italian. The 18-year-old from Rimini, heading home, of course, next weekend in Misano. 5th successive front row start for Enea Bastianini. In fact, he's only finished outside of the top 4 in one of the last 5 Grand Prix, so really coming back into some good form is Bastianini.
Valentino Rossi getting himself wrapped up and warm here at Silverstone, and for the first time we can now go down to Dylan, who's on the grid.
Well, guys, I thought we'd talk to last race winner John McPhee down here on the grid. John, obviously qualifying didn't go quite to a plan, but you have looked strong so far. What are your expectations for this race?
Yeah, like you say, qualifying didn't go so well, so down in 17th position is not brilliant for the start of the race, but we showed this morning and we showed yesterday in free practice that we can be strong in dry conditions, and I think if we can get a good start, then we need to try and get in that front group and see what happens from there.
I mean, what about the track conditions now? Obviously, you know, did rain a bit this morning, was a little bit greasy. What's it like just on this sighting lap?
Yeah, it feels okay. I mean, the track's completely dry. There's still some wet patches on the curbs and stuff like that, but yeah, it feels okay. It's been a bit slick all weekend. It's not been the best of conditions, but it's more or less the same now.
Okay, thank you very much, John. Good luck.
Thanks to Dylan and thanks to John.
Yeah, he won't mind it too slick, will he, after what we saw from him in Brno a couple of weeks ago. John McPhee, yeah, again, like Jorge Navarro, crashing at a crucial time in that wet qualifying session yesterday. They will start alongside each other, actually, in 17th and 18th places. We had a quick look at Nicolo Antonelli very shortly. There is Brad Binder, the World Championship leader. 61 points clear he is of Jorge Navarro going into this 17-lap race. He hasn't got, well, to put it mildly, he hasn't got a great record here at the Silverstone at all, Brad Binder. 1 point in 4 British Grand Prix starts. That was a 15th back in 2014. If you cast your minds back just 1 year ago in a rain-lashed British Grand Prix, Brad Binder ended up on the deck 3 times.
He's only picked up 32 points from 100 available in the last 4 races, but no one else able to put pressure on him. What about Joan Mir? He's been strong of late. He was a race winner in Austria. He will push off from 5th on the grid. Let's go down to Dylan again.
Yeah, guys, I'm here with someone else who was very quick, Bo, Ben Snyder. Bo, unfortunate, obviously, you had to move back on the grid, but you did show that in your qualifying you do have real pace here. What are you expecting for this race?
Yeah, we need to accept the rules. So, yeah, now we will fight from 8, I think. Okay, the front row will be much better, but we'll fight hard and we will see.
What's the tactic? Try and get away with the group at the front, or maybe hang back and find out what the rhythm is first?
No, we'll fight with the group and stay in the middle, and in the end try to attack.
Okay, thank you very much, Bo. Good luck.
Yeah, sure, Bo. Ben Schneider will be in full attack mode. Of course, yeah, he was 3rd quickest in yesterday's qualifying session, but riding too slowly in 3 sectors of the track in Friday afternoon's 2nd practice session. That's why Bo Benschneider, the Dutch rider, then was relegated back to 8th place on the grid. And the reason why we just saw Jules Danilo, the Onjeta River Cold Honda rider, the Frenchman, up 1 place to complete the back of that 2nd row. So dry race. Even though there are, as Steve said at the start of the programme, a few threatening grey clouds looming over this Silverstone circuit. Fingers crossed that we do get a dry race now, Steve.
Yeah, we want to see a fully dry race. 17 lapper coming up, and don't really want to see that rain come back. Jorge Martin here, got his first ever podium 14 days ago in the Czech Republic. On the front row he was then, 6th and a 2nd, his last 2 results, coming into some decent form.
Yeah, he certainly does. Career best finishes for him in the last 2 Grand Prix. There is Bo Benschneider, former Red Bull Rookies MotoGP Cup winner here at Silverstone, the 17-year-old Dutchman. Confirmation there, as you can see. Irresponsible riding during free practice too. That's why he got a 5 grid position penalty. If you're wondering why it was 5 grid penalty, it was because he's a repeat offender. Not the first time that Race Direction have had to call Bo Benschneider up for a little ticking off in their office. But Bo Benschneider, courtesy of that brilliant 3rd place, it hasn't really damaged his prospects of getting a first podium here, because, you know, let's say if he's 17th on the grid and has to go outside the top 20, it's a bit of a different story, but he can still get away with that lead group. Dylan.
Guys, very briefly down here with Mufadal Jr. from Mahindra. Mufadal, you're on the front row. Last time out you did a 1-2. Can we expect a 1-2-3 today?
So you're really catching me for what I said the other day, huh? Well, so look, I don't want to, put targets right now. I think we're in a good way. We're doing well. Let's hope for whatever best results we can. Hopefully a win, surely. After that, I'll leave it to the riders and God maybe.
Okay, thank you very much, Mufadal.
Always good to hear from Mufdal. There you can see Brad Binder and Aki Ayo just having a quick conversation. Aki Ayo will be giving him words of wisdom. He's got a championship lead to guard. Brad Binder almost tapping on the shoulder saying, Aki, it's all right. Yeah, I've got it all under control, mate.
We've seen Brad Binder start from last place and 35th on the grid so far this year in Jerez, and he came through to take a victory. Had a quick look at Nicolo Bulliga there, the 16-year-old Italian, great run of form in his rookie season, 9 top 10s in 11 races for Bulliga. He starts from 9th place on the grid.
Quick word on the crowd, Matt. Great to see so many fans flocking into this place.
Brilliant, because they've had to deal with all kinds of elements thrown at them this weekend, haven't they? It's been windy, it's been cold, chilly and wet. Well, they've come out in their thousands to support these riders, and you've got to say in all three classes the riders have treated them to an absolutely spectacular action so far. There's Lorenzo Dalla Porta standing in, of course, in the final 7 races for Romano Finati in that Sky Racing Team VR46, and after a steady start, a very steady start in practice on Friday, Dalla Porta coming back to the kind of form that we expect from the rider that leads that junior Moto 3 World Championship back in Spain, the 19-year-old Italian. Well, his best Grand Prix result actually was an 8th here at Silverstone last year when he was standing in for Isaac Viñales.
Here's Jorge Navarro then. He will be starting from 18th on the grid. We know it's doable. He knows it's doable. And in the dry and free practice 1, 2 and 3, he was the man to beat. As simple as that.
Yeah, untouchable, really. I mean, the gap between Navarro and the chasing pack at the end of third practice was close to 0.7 of a second. It wasn't even close. He decimated the field. Costly crash, though, in qualifying as we look at John McPhee, the Renault winner in the Czech Republic a fortnight ago. Scotland's first Grand Prix winner since Bob McIntyre way back in 1962. But again, like Navarro, a very costly error crashing out in qualifying. That's why John McPhee finds himself pretty much in the middle of the grid there in 17th place.
So the front row, an Italian lockout. It's third for Nico Antonelli, looking to get himself back on the podium since Qatar. Bastianini looking for his first win of the season. Pecco Bagnaia starting though on pole position here for the British Grand Prix.